days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way, from off-season to game day. Yeah, we talk back. It's the 49ers Cutback.
Nobody, Pinor. No, absolutely nobody. Not us.
It's breaking news. You figured by the time that, they waited this long, they would just put him on IR for the rest of the season, right? And
it's baffling. I don't understand the decision. They have to know something. I'm not you and I, both of us. We don't jump to conclusions. I don't like this move at all because the potential for him is so high, and I we're both aware of the frustration and what's been going on with everything with Jalen Hurd, like everything that's gone on with Jalen Hurd and what they've been dealing with this guy and what's been happening. But I never thought this was going to be a thing, that if he was going to get cut, that it would happen right now, because you put him on the roster, you already did all of these things. You made all these moves. Cutting him now doesn't make sense. There has to be something. Caleb, you are definitely right.
Whoa, what are you talking about? Ray Wersching's jersey?
100% Ray Wersching's jersey.
100%. Did you ever see the back?
No, actually, it says Joey Slye jersey.
Did you ever see the back of that jersey?
They did not.
It says Wersching.
It does say Wersching on it. Look,
I'm not heartbroken right now.
This is just something this is nuts, bro.
She broke my heart, so I broke her jaw. Yeah, that's how I feel right now.
This is this is insane. This is an insane cut. It doesn't make a lot of sense. The only thing that keeps popping in my mind is there's definitely information right now that we don't know. There's something else that's going on, whether that is the severity of what he's dealing with is just this is it. Like, this is it for him. There's a good chance he's not going to ever return or play football, or there's something else going on in his rehab process, or they feel like maybe this guy isn't doing the things he's supposed to be doing to get himself better.
Yeah, I see James Vegas said maybe Hurd is going to retire from football. That's a possibility. Mm-hmm. The other possibility is maybe they believe he is healthy enough to play, and he's just not doing it.
That's the other thing.
And so at some point you're just like, you know what, you got to be out on the field, or you're not, going to be with this roster. The scary part is, what if he decides now, maybe he just didn't want to be a 49er, and he decides he's going to go play somewhere. That could be an issue. So I was surprised by this. I didn't think this was going to happen. I thought it was going to be a decision they would probably make in the offseason, but they went ahead and made the decision now.
Crazy.
What the reason is for this, we're not 100% sure. But Jalen Hurd is no longer into the 49ers' future plans.
Nope.
They made a couple of practice squad signings. Brought back big old Corbin Kafasi, so I know you're feeling good about that. But yeah, this one came out of nowhere. It didn't make sense. You figured it was going to, there was going to be some sort of decision made on Jalen Hurd, but at this moment you thought maybe IR to create a roster spot, not overall release.
True. Luke Luna, who cares about potential if Kyle kept him, even though he's been nothing but injured when we need to move from injury? We can't continue to shelf injured players who have had zero impact. First off, you can 100% continue to shelf injured players because IR, there's no limitation. So shelving injured players is not the concern. It's getting him on the field that is the concern. Having him available is the thing that's the most frustrating, and not being able to have. You drafted this kid. He's on a rookie deal. He's on a rookie contract. You've seen flashes. You've seen potential. Stashing him away on IR until his rookie contract run out, it's not ideal. It doesn't impact your ability to make roster moves or go do any other things. So, it's just this is just shocking, because I know there's 49er fans who want this, right? Jason said good, about time. Someone else a little earlier, Brian Van Beek, about time was a horrible pick at the time. Definitely wasn't a horrible pick at the time. Hindsight's 2020. You can look at it now and all the injuries that piled up with Jalen Hurd. Okay, it was a bad pick because of the hindsight of what we know about what Jalen Hurd's dealt with. But it's exactly what they were doing with Deebo Samuel. They were bringing in a guy who can do a variety of different things in your offense, whether that be run the football, short passes underneath, big, tall wide receiver can go up over the top. Works and operates great over the middle of the field. We saw that in the preseason as well, and as well as outside the numbers. So, there's a lot of things that he does that fit in the Kyle Shanahan system. It was a pick that made sense at the time in terms of what skill sets the guy brought to the table and the jack of all trades that he could be. The injuries, though, are just too much. It's just too much. I understand it. It's just surprising that it's happening now. Like right now, they decided the move he needed to go now. Why wouldn't that have been at the start of the year once you knew he
Yeah.
wasn't going to be healthy to start the season?
Coming out of training camp, you make that move, or you make it, sometime, right now you put him on IR and you make the decision during the offseason. But apparently they felt like this was the necessary, move to make. The question is, what is next for Jalen Hurd? Where's he going to be? Is he going to retire? Is he going to end up on another roster? If he does end up on another roster and all of a sudden he can play, it will have even more questions. But I mean, it could be that, they just didn't feel that he was, putting his best foot forward about getting on the field. That was never something that I got from how they had talked about him, that it was never really an issue, besides the one time that Kyle Shanahan really called him out and said that if he's not out there, he's not going to be a part of this team. And then all of a sudden he showed up. Besides that, I mean, we've seen flashes. I mean, he's got some ability, but the question is if maybe the knee is that bad that he's never going to play in the NFL. I honestly don't know.
Luke, again, I understand your point that he's constantly injured. What kind of criticism would you have for their approach if they're just going to keep injury-prone starters? He's not a starter, number one.
He wasn't going to be a starter.
He wasn't going to be a starter with those two, number two. And number three, you drafted him. You've already invested the money and the time in him. His contract is already in place. This isn't a guy that you're going out and re-signing. You already drafted this guy. He's contracted. He's with your team. You're paying him.
The reason, that's why you keep him, because you're still going to pay him.
You're paying him no matter what, right? Like they've cut him, but there's a cap hit. They're going to be paying.
They're still on the hook for some money.
He's going to go place potentially. If he goes and plays somewhere else, he's playing somewhere else, going to get paid by them, whatever, and still getting paid whatever San Francisco owes him.
Whatever is part of his guaranteed money, yeah.
That's the whole point, right? Is you could have stashed him on IR, and there's not, the only reason you don't is if there's something, there's information that we're not privy to currently, and that's what we're waiting on now at this point. You're just waiting to see what that information is.
And there are teams that are going to be interested in him. Number one, Seattle will be interested in him. I think the Green Bay Packers would be interested in him. You put somebody like...
And Luke just said, why keep him when they said he's going to be out for the year? Because you can put him on IR and he doesn't take up he is already not taking up a roster spot.
Yeah.
He's on IR already. There's no limitation for IR.
Yeah, this wasn't a move that had to be made. So there's got to be more to it, right? Either he requested it, maybe he wants to be out, or they don't think he's developing the right way. You know what I mean? I think those are the only other ways.
It's all about information at this point, because anything that you say now about it is just honestly, anything anyone says, whether it's us, a talking head, unless they have information, it's just speculation.
Wait, we thought he was going to start? No,
we thought he was going to be wide receiver 3 and have a huge impact for the team.
I thought he was going to make the roster 100%. Yeah, I never said he was going to start. I thought it was going to be Debo and Brandon Ayuk, just like always.
And that you're going to have a huge weapon, potentially you could utilize later in the season in wide receiver 3.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, the conversation was always, we thought Jalen Hurd was going to be once healthy, and you were on the firm boat that he was going to stay healthy. I was on the if this guy stays healthy boat.
Yeah.
That if Jalen Hurd's in the lineup, he's your wide receiver 3. It's not close.
I haven't backed off what I said. I've said the whole thing the whole time.
I still won't. He would have been wide receiver 3, and it's not close.
Yeah.
He's just injured.
Well,
that's the problem.
I mean,
the problem is he's injured.
Yeah, the problem is he can't stay healthy, and that's the proof is in it. I mean, that's just what came down to.
Wide receiver 3, Luke, in this system, wide receiver 3 is not a starter.
No, it's not.
Kyle Juszczyk is the guy that is wide receiver 3. Yeah, they're going to run fullback.
We play a fullback, so we don't have a wide receiver 3. No, we don't run a 3. We don't run a 3 wide receiver set.
If this was the Rams,
100%.
Arizona, 100%. Seattle, you'd be right. You'd be 100% right.
But it's not in San Francisco.
That's not the case here.
The third wide receiver is not as valuable as the other positions. They're not on the field that much.
Not in San Francisco system.
Not the way that Kyle Juszczyk is out there.
Correct.
It's Kyle Juszczyk, George Kittle, and 2 receivers. That's why there's just not a lot of playing time, and that's also why Kyle keeps 5 receivers and not 6 most of the time.
Agreed. Pinor, this is listen. I didn't want him before the season started, and I don't believe in him as a player for anyone else. But if you kept him on his rookie contract waiting this long, why cut him now, Kyle?
Agreed.
This is the question we both have.
I agree with you, Pinor.
Yeah.
I don't know why, if you've made it to here, that you cut him, unless Pinor, they believe that he's not doing what he needs to do, or maybe they think he's healthy enough. The doctor's saying, hey, he's healthy enough to play, but he keeps saying he can't. They're like, well, we're not going to keep paying this guy. We just got to, move him on. Yeah. He's not doing anything for us. I don't know.
Google count. How the hell does OBJ get signed to the Rams? It's a great question. Because these other teams don't operate as if the salary cap exists. Number one, and 2, because they believe this team is all in. They had about $499 million in cap space.
Yeah.
So he is going to be getting the vet minimum and then probably an extreme incentive laden contract that's going to go into next year, I would imagine. But here's the thing. The Rams are only going to have about $7 million in cap space going into next season, and that's with the salary cap going up to $210 million. That's the salary cap going up $30 million. They are only going to have $7 million, and a chunk of that is going to get eaten up by whatever this contract is and whatever incentives are in that contract. The Rams are going all in right now. That's what they're doing. MySpace Tom with the praise Jesus finally. That's funny. Actually, MySpace Tom, how you doing? Mike says locker room issues maybe. I don't know about
I don't
that.
think so.
I
I haven't heard anything about Jalen Hurd being a bad locker room guy. So that hasn't been an issue. I mean, maybe it would come out now, but no, I mean, from what we saw too, just the way he interacted with people, it never seemed like he had an issue with anyone.
I know, you were right about that. The 49ers fan base currently is uniting over the Jalen Hurd cut because whether you wanted him gone a long time ago or whether you wanted Kyle to hold on to him, this decision doesn't make any sense now at this point.
I agree. Yeah, I think we can all agree on that. Whether you wanted him, gone, you never liked the pick. Now you're like, wait, why did we invest 3 years in him and then just give up all of a sudden in the middle of the season? You're hoping that at some point there's going to come out some information that makes it make sense. Right now it doesn't though.
No, and James, yeah, he has a feeling injuries are the reason. I would agree with James to an extent. I don't want to expect the worst out of anyone, whether that's Kyle, whether that's Jalen, right? The worst for Jalen being he just doesn't want to play for San Francisco, so he's been faking it now for the last few years and is just trying to find a way to get out of the situation and go play for someone else. The worst in Kyle, right, being that, he just fed up with this guy or, is just done with him. And so, he's officially in the doghouse and he's moving on from him. I expect the reason to come out here is that, he's having a lot of complications with his body and that this is, just affecting his ability to be healthy. And maybe he took a seat, right? And maybe him and Kyle during the bye week or whatever had a conversation about his future, and the health issues he's been having and what he wants out of his life. And maybe he's just sitting there going, I don't know if football's the option right now. And he's like, you know what? If you don't think football's this isn't the thing you want to do right now, or, this has not been fun for you, or, you're worried about your long-term health. Well, let me move off of you and you do some soul searching, right? You don't have to worry about trying to get healthy, trying to do the things you need to do for this team. Let's just move on. Let you go have some time to focus on you. Maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. There's no way to know.
There's no way to know the exact reason until they give an official word on it. All they've done pretty much is just say that they've released him. But other than that, they haven't gone any further with any sort of information. And we don't get to hear from Kyle again until Saturday. So us getting some information on it, hopefully John Lynch or Kyle Shanahan go on to one of the radio stations or something and talk about it. Maybe Jalen Hurd's agent will release a statement, something of that nature. But right now, we have no idea of what was going on behind the scenes and whether this is just the 49ers feeling like they need to cut their losses and move on, that he no longer invest any more time in him, or if this is Jalen Hurd deciding that maybe the injuries are just frustrating. It's he doesn't want to deal with them anymore. We don't know yet. We don't know his love for football. I mean, I do know that he rehabbed from a back injury, he rehabbed from an ACL injury. Usually guys who do that are willing to go through that grind, usually care about, the sport and care about what they're going to do. But, he's not able to get on the field. He's not able to help this team. Kyle said, a couple weeks ago, he probably wouldn't be able to help this team this year. So they've decided that if he's not able to help this team this year, they're ready to move on, apparently.
It's true. It's true. Okay. Well, Rome to Upsetter is upset, and he's living up to his name. OBJ to the Rams. We are effing bottom dwellers. So,
I mean, yeah, I mean, the OBJ, that's what's kind of interesting, right? The OBJ news comes down, and then the Jalen Hurd news comes right on top of that. It was kind of interesting moment where, the Rams, you're like, wow, the Rams got OBJ. So now he gets to go fill the role that Deshaun Jackson had, or lack thereof. So let's see how they use OBJ in this offense.
See, that's just it's so interesting because they're so different. They are so different in terms of what they are. And the whole moving off of OBJ, off of Deshaun was, I thought, because of the elevation of Van Jefferson. I thought he had done enough, and McVay was like, this is our dude right now. I don't want him off the field if I can help it in some of these situations and some of these sets. And then you go make the move for OBJ, who's not the same level of speed as either, though. I don't know. I'm a little confused as to what they're doing there. But, hey, they believe that this team has what the pieces. They think they have the weapons, and they're going all in.
MySpace Tom. First off, clever name, sir. And then I love my 3 and 5ers.
I love my 3 and 5ers, hey. All right.
The whole thing was funny to me.
It's pretty good. Kyle is digging the biggest grave ever made. What's next, Kyle? Oh, wait, I know. You're going to start Tom Compton at right tackle over Jalen Moore. Nice. Depends.
You're not wrong, Pinor. There's a possibility Tom Compton could start over Jalen Moore.
Good. But it wouldn't be because Tom Compton is the better fit. It's because they'd be worried about Jalen Moore going into his first start, having practiced and spent all of his time at left tackle, having to try and apply tackle techniques against Von Miller, Aaron Donald on that side. That would be more about trying to protect Jalen and make sure that he's 100% ready to handle what you're asking. I do
have questions of why he never was practicing right tackle.
That's a Forrester question,
If he's a swing tackle, yeah, but I mean, ultimately, though, that's a Kyle question because Kyle's got to know what these guys are doing. That's interesting that they didn't have an actual swing tackle because even Mike McDaniel referred to Jalen Moore as the swing tackle.
He did.
So I don't know if they just thought Mike McGlinchey's always healthy. He's always playing. We're just not going to worry about it. Or if they thought Compton was at the same level of Moore. And if he is, eek.
Yeah, he had some bad snaps against the Cardinals.
Yeah.
He had some bad snaps against the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on a replacement for the wide receivers? Ty Williams, since Reynolds claimed by the Lions? Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, I mean, right now, what Kyle Shanahan said in his press conference was, it's time for Juwan Jennings and Travis Benjamin to step up. That's what he said.
Well, T. Benjamin for sure. I don't know if Juwan can.
Juwan Jennings is not as good as Mohamed Sanu.
No.
I seen people saying, "Oh, we got Juwan Jennings, we're good." I think people are a little overvaluing him a little bit.
Pinor, and we agree with you on that. He should have been practicing in both spots.
Yep.
He should have been practicing in both spots.
Yeah.
I mean, if he is your backup behind Trent Williams, then he is your best tackle option. He should be going at both spots. He should be working at both. You can spend more time and focus more time on the left tackle spot because you're afraid, you're going to miss Trent Williams for a few games this year, so you want to make sure he's good over there, like solid on that left side, but you have to prepare for the worst.
Yeah.
You have to try to anyway.
I see Luke said, do you guys think we'll keep Lakin because he's going to be asking to get paid? I think they could roll out more next to Williams and then take over for Williams when he's done.
Maybe.
You know what? That is going to be a question during the offseason. A big question is what they do at the guard spot. If they believe that Aaron Banks and Jalen Moore are ready to take over, I believe they move on from both guards, and they don't. If for some reason they think they need to make a decision and Banks isn't ready, and Jalen Moore could be that answer at guard, then yeah, there'll be a decision. They might have to keep Lakin Tomlinson. And you're right, Lakin Tomlinson's play has proved that he would have to get paid, so he'd get a decent contract. Kyle Shanahan does not like paying interior offensive linemen, especially guards. He'll pay a center. He does not like paying guards. I believe they wanted to draft two guys that they could play inside. And then the eventual move out, to the outside to Trent Williams is a possibility. However, they could also draft someone. That's a long time, 3-4 more years before Trent Williams is probably going to hang him up. So they have a lot of time to get, a big time caliber player to play left tackle.
Accurate. James Vega, biggest question mark for next season is right side O-line, secondary. I would also say linebacker depth and tight end depth.
Tight end depth is an issue.
It's a huge issue.
That's been an issue since the offseason, and they didn't really address it. I would say that was a weakness.
I think the Ross Dwelley experiment is officially over.
Also the secondary, the cornerback position,
Absolutely.
The depth there. They weren't able to secure a corner high enough in the draft that would have been able to give them, a lot of stability there. Because they weren't able to handle it in free agency. They didn't go out and handle it in the draft. I understand they thought they were comfortable with their starters, and that was okay. It was always going to be the depth issue. And then they did address depth in the safety position, and they really needed it because they've had those top two guys out again. So
you're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong there. All right, look, Cutback crew, we're gonna wrap this up right now. If you have any questions, we'll take a couple. We got the game preview show that's literally going live in about 9 minutes. So all of you who are here, please stick around for that. It's going to be a good game preview.
Thank you, Pinor, on that, too. Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to stop the Ross Dwelley hype. The Ross Dwelley hype is extremely overblown. Extremely. Stick around for that. We got game preview. And then after the game preview at 4:30, we will be back here live. We'll talk more about the Jalen Hurd stuff that's going on, the moves that the Rams are making, but we got a Q&A as well where you can ask all the questions. We will have nothing but
every
answers.
Question you got.
Yeah, all the questions. But no, this is just shocking information. It's shocking news. Cannot believe that this has actually happened right now at this point of the season with this guy. I think you and I both thought that if he was not healthy going into next year, by the time we get around to next season, that would be the time that they make that move and move off of him because you're not going to get anything from him. He's on the last year of his rookie deal, and bye-bye, see you later. They're making it now. We'll wait to see what the news is coming out of that, but definitely an interesting day, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, we're not even close to getting to the game, and we've already got tons of news. So it's gonna be an interesting week, and it appears that no one is safe in the 49ers locker room right now. But yeah, we'll see what ultimately happens with Jalen. If he retires, that would make sense. If he moves on to another team, what kind of impact will he make? We're gonna find out.
Definitely gonna find out. A lot of information still to come. Cutback crew, we appreciate you tuning in for this quick little breaking news segment. He's been sitting down for reasons, right? Yeah, it's been his knee. It's been knee tendonitis is what they've been reporting, and now it's bye-bye, see you later, and we'll find out why. I imagine in the next 24 hours or so, maybe 48.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, we'll see you. Game preview right now, just after this, about 5 minutes away. Head on over, check it out. Until the next one, though, stay safe.
And remember, the right way
is always the 49ers way.
Yeah.